Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number 44. We're live at the Normal Brand, as always, brought to you by CarShield and carshield.com. Bellman.com. Go get yourself a new car. And our newest sponsor, GadgetBuyback.com. We'll tell you about them coming up in just a minute. Cam Jansen.
Sponsors, what's up?
We got Georges Laruque on this episode, man, and he was
fucking unreal,
unbelievable. He sounds like,
dude,
he should be like the prime minister of like Great
Andy,
Britain or something.
I want him to sing me lullabies at night. I want him to read me stories like I'm a fucking child.
Coming to America.
Oh, every time I hear him, like, oh my god, I'm like soothing. What a soothing, what a smart
Great
human
speaker,
being.
very smart, very
Tougher
intelligent.
than fuck.
He's vegan.
Actually, he doesn't even want to be tough. Like, he's not even.
No, he doesn't.
He's not tough. He's just big.
I got to say this because he kind of misspeaks.
Yeah.
At one point during the interview, I asked him, about how, from what I've read in interviews I've seen from him over the years, even though he says he was scared to fight, which sounds crazy for Georges Laruque, the baddest man in the National Hockey League, that he would be scared and that he didn't enjoy fighting. He didn't like it. But don't confuse that to believe that he doesn't think fighting has a place in the game, because it does. But he kind of misspeaks there.
He kind of fucked that up.
So you got to follow him there, and then you'll realize.
I'll tell him you said that.
Yeah, where he kind of, we should have corrected him at the time, man. But it was great having him on.
Good luck with that.
And we had him on prior to George Floyd.
I know.
Dying.
I know.
And
but we get a lot of racial issues, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot of shit going on right now, and I don't think it's right for the people for us not to bring it up. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? There's no hockey going on. There's no anything going on, and the cities are burning down right now. So I think we do need to touch up on that. I wish we would have had Georgie this week instead of last week. That sucks, man. It does. But we do break that all down. But things do need to change, man. And we're two white kids, grew up in Missouri. We went to a public school, so that we You believe in white privilege? Oh, I'm privileged right now, but I earned it, I think. Was I privileged when I lived in house?
Time out.
Okay.
Do you believe in white privilege? I'm not saying as an NHL player. Do you believe in white privilege in general?
Not as much as it used to be. I mean, Barack Obama was the president. If you're a black man and you want to walk into a room and you're smart, like I've seen that happen. Like why wouldn't I hire you? Like, why wouldn't I hire you? Now, did I have privilege when I growing up in House Springs, Missouri? Fucking Hoosier. No offense to all you. I love y'all.
But
are you fucking
referring
kidding?
to where you're hearing from the black community right now, that they say, hey, when they leave their house, they're scared when they leave their house.
100% different
They're
story.
Scared of the police, right?
Yeah. There's hardcore
and
shit
so
going on.
that's different. I don't think you probably have ever been in that situation where you are fearful of the police that they're going to...
Every single day. No,
I know.
I'm kidding.
But you know what I'm saying?
No, not at all. Not like that. No. The reason why I'm fearful from police is if I'm doing something fucking stupid.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now, I get it. There's a lot of crime going on, man. And these guys got to go into hardcore neighborhoods, and they got to make fucking drastic situations and decisions in split-second timing, not knowing if somebody's going to blow your head off or it's going to be a young 5-year-old girl coming out in they're put in spots. But god damn, sometimes, man...
See,
they just fuck up.
The young generation
sets the whole country back.
The young generation, they're so different than the generation before them or the generation before that.
Yeah.
How they're just not putting up with it anymore. This is the way they want to react. I mean, it's they've had enough, right?
Yeah, they got to make a point.
They've had enough.
They got to make a point.
And so it's gotten to this point. Now, you're seeing a lot of professional athletes now speak up. And what's interesting is, like the National Football League, you can look at that with the Colin Kaepernick situation. Now the football's, the NFL's putting out statements.
Oh, yeah.
The NHL's putting out statements. You're seeing college athletic directors putting out statements.
Yep.
Hockey players putting out statements. I mean, Austin Matthews, one of the more influential players in the league in terms of his status as a superstar, I mean, he puts out a statement. So I think that is progress in the National Hockey League. I still think we have a long way to go. But I want to say this. In terms of players putting out statements, a lot of the statements seem kind of similar. I don't want this to be done by a PR firm. I don't want this to be done by a team.
They are, Andy.
And
Who
I know,
are you kidding?
Let me just finish this. And I want to believe that it's coming from the heart. Like, this shouldn't be a situation where PR guys from around the league are texting players and saying, I need you to make a statement. This is something that has got to be extremely personal. And it's got to be up to them, and it's got to come from the heart. This is what they truly believe. I don't think it does much good to have it be a constructed statement that isn't their own in this particular situation.
Some are, some aren't. Good point on that. You're right. I think a lot of people take advantage of the moment. Like, where the fuck were you fucking 5 years ago? What have you done?
Right.
Hey, so no, excuse me.
Are you walking the walk?
Oh, wait, time out. You just tweeted some out. What have you done for the past 5 years? How much money have you donated to inner city communities? How much time have you invested? Colin Kaepernick has. Did I agree with everything he did? No.
Yeah.
But he's fucking donating this shit. Yeah, he's getting paid by Nike. He's in the city. All these hardcore cats are in there doing it. Some of these guys don't even know who fucking Willie O'Ree is.
No, I
That's
did an interview.
true. That's
I did an
true.
interview with a player, and we were talking, and listen, he had no idea who Willie O'Ree is. Now, I don't know if I should blame him, if I should blame the NHL that they're not educating these players. Now, this is a few years back on who the first black player in the history of the National Hockey League is. Like, every player should automatically know that.
Fuck, I knew it.
You should know it, 100%. Especially if you're gonna, attack some of these issues.
If you're gonna have your PR department send out a tweet, like, fucking show me something, dude. Like, and I know we all need to do our part, and we do. Like, what do we do? Like, we treat everybody fine. Like,
sending out a tweet is not enough.
No, like, what? Fucking go in the inner cities and help raise money and talk to them and let them see your face. Like, are you doing that? Like, are you doing that? Like, I'll wait. I'll watch. Show me a video of that. Show me something. Yeah, you could tweet, oh, this is no. Oh, yeah, what else are you fucking doing? You're making your coin. What the fuck are you doing?
So it's about.
I know it's easy to say that because I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
It's about being part of
Talking
it's about being part of the solution. What are you doing to make progress?
They're gonna listen to us for it.
And to help the situation out. And so I think more and more athletes are being vocal. I think it's part of the younger generation because they grew up in the social media world, and so maybe it's a little more inherent upon them to just put something out on social media, whether it be Instagram or Twitter or whatever, Facebook.
It's easy,
and they do that. But so we're starting to hear more and more statements. Again, I think that's a positive, but a lot of the statements are starting to sound the same.
I know.
And
Get
it's
creative,
like,
will you?
well, is this coming from you? Is it coming from the heart? Or are you doing this because somebody asked you to do it and you think that you're supposed to do it because you're a professional athlete?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Exactly. And if we're figuring that out, like reading your tweets,
Come on.
you don't think anybody else is?
It's not going to
get real.
There's no impact.
Get real. And even if you grew up in wherever, which you're probably the only black dude around, so what? Talk about it.
There's no impact.
Talk about it. That could be even more hardcore.
Yeah.
Say, I got deal, just like Georgie did. Big George talked about that. Like, dude, look what George is doing.
Yeah.
Look what Georges Laruque is doing. He's everywhere, nonstop in the community, talking this, doing that. What are you guys doing?
Right.
I know you're playing. I get that.
But you know what's interesting?
But help out a little bit.
Like Ryan O'Reilly is a guy who brings inner city kids to every game. And every single game. And he goes out and spends time with these kids, win or lose, spends the same amount of time.
That's a big deal, by the way. Win or lose.
Same attitude, same demeanor, and he spends time with these kids, and he brings them to the rink. I don't need him to put a tweet out.
No. Just keep doing your shit.
To validate how he believes, how he thinks, or what he does in the community. I already see it. So there shouldn't be any pressure. Hey, you got to put a statement out. You have to do this.
And
not if you're doing it.
There you go. There you go.
But
and if you don't feel like you have an opinion on it, then don't do it. I get that.
But there shouldn't be pressure on players or anybody to put a statement out if it's not coming from their heart.
It is. And it's easy, Andy, for us to talk about it. Like, do more, and we get that. We get that. We do. It's a very, very bizarre, unique situation that needs to be settled. It needs to be settled. The communication with cops and civilians needs to be more transparent. This shit cannot happen anymore. We can't get set back in our country like this. It can't fucking happen. It can't happen. And for all the looters and protesters, there's good ones and there's bad ones. And the bad ones with the purple fucking white boy hair. They're white boys with purple hair and they're smashing things. And even some of the J.R. Smith and John Bones Jones have to fucking grab these little punk ass guys that don't even know what's going on and be like, stop fucking vandalizing because we have a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest and you're fucking it up. Right. Stop it.
Right. And I don't think we're getting enough positive attention on the good stuff that is happening.
I know.
I was watching television last night. It's almost like watching the NFL Red Zone, where they're going from one city to the next. All right, let's go out to Washington, D.C. Let's head back out to Santa Monica, California. All right, let's go up to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's go to
negative.
It's one negative after another.
But sometimes, go ahead. Are you gonna
Well,
finish?
it's just one negative after another. But you know what? There's a lot of positive stuff going on.
Yes.
And Rex Chapman, who I love following his
him.
Twitter, and I said on Twitter last night, I said, thank you, Rex.
We're going to get him on.
Absolutely.
We're going to get him on.
I said, thank you, Rex. The most positive news that I see is on his Twitter account.
I know. And it's like the sheriff
no one else
walking.
covers
They
it.
don't do it. Because why? Why? They want.
It doesn't sell, man.
Exactly. And so, like, the sheriff
It doesn't
walking.
meet the narrative.
They're walking and they're kneeling. And then, oh, my God, the one brought tear in my eye. A black man and a black police officer and a white, they all hug each other and they start marching together. Like, the police officer's like, fuck this motherfucker.
I don't need to see people smashing windows and destroying the lives of small business owners
Black
and
business owners,
and
by the
walking
way.
out of their business with
their goods,
with guitars,
and
trash cans filled with
idiots.
tennis shoe boxes.
You
like
fucks.
There's nothing good that's going to come out of that. To see that on TV, I want to see the positive stuff, Cam.
I know, man.
And hopefully, we're going to see change. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we all need to see. We need change.
Yep.
And
I agree,
not
buddy.
just in the circles of the NHL, because I think we have a long way to go in the NHL. I really do. But starting to see some of these younger players speak on it, I think is going to change. Maybe
come from the heart and do it, and don't just tweet. If you're going to be involved, get involved in the
you
inner
put yourself
cities.
out there. Now you have to
fucking
do it.
Be a man. Go be a man about it.
That's right.
Go be a man about
You're going
it.
to put yourself out there if you really believe it. It's not just a one-time thing.
I'm going to tweet something because I'm cool. Fuck you. Go downtown.
Putting a tweet out doesn't fulfill your obligation.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Just us.
Yeah, you got other stuff to
Yeah,
do.
no shit.
All right, you'll like this from Georges Laruque.
Oh, fuck yeah.
As always, this is brought to you by CarShield and CarShield.com. Cam, you think about being protected.
I just signed up, baby.
Oh, you did sign up.
Yeah, I did sign
Yeah, you
up.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
And you feel different? You feel good?
I feel like $1 million.
Yeah. Well,
The $1 million I didn't, save, I guess.
it doesn't cost. It doesn't cost $1 million.
No, it doesn't cost anything. It barely costs anything a month. And what? It's like the coolest deal possible. And with driving around like we do all the time, Andy, like you get in jams, man. Like this is what it is. It's nice to have the support system above you, CarShield, and they like support youth hockey. Like I can't draw up a better company, by the way, that helps out the community, and of course helps out everybody in the community. Besides just with the youth hockey, which you love, Andy.
So get your coverage today. It's pretty easy, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, you sign up, you have coverage in no time, okay? 800-857-2481, carshield.com. Mention the promo code CAM. It may save you 10%.
You want to be sexy? Just mention my name, baby.
10%. Again, 800-857-2481, carshield.com. Be sure to check them out. Bellman.com.
Oh.
BEHLMANN. Get yourself a new ride. Cadillac, Buick, GMC. On the other side, they got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep,
I want that
Ram.
Cadillac.
I'm getting that Cadillac, man. I'm getting that
You
Escalade.
might move up a notch.
Although this Rubicon, this new Jeep, though.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, my God.
That's kind of
sick.
cool. The pink one with the pink rims.
Now you just press a button. Press a button.
And it drives for
No,
you?
the roof comes off.
Well, I
Just like
think that happened like 10 years ago,
Did
but
it?
okay.
No, it's
Jesus,
new.
what are you
it's
driving
new.
now?
It's new. Now it just no.
Oh, the
Jeep,
hard top
for the
Jeep.
Wrangler.
The
Wrangler,
hard
yeah.
top. Oh,
Hit
my
a button
word.
and the roof just comes off. It slides off.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's amazing.
I want to have my feet wagging in the wind like, what's up?
You used to have to pick it up, take it off.
Yeah.
Maybe a two-man job.
For you, it's a 5-man job.
Bellman.com. Hook that up. Our newest sponsor, Cam.
Oh, God, we get sponsors.
Welcome to the team, GadgetBuyback.com.
How many times do you fuck your phone up?
Write that down. GadgetBuyback.com. A lot. I got a crack on my screen right here.
It's such hillbilly. I'm embarrassed to be around you. Get that goddamn thing fixed. Nah.
All right, let's explain what they do first off. So if you have a computer, could be an iPhone, could be any phone, doesn't have to be an Apple product.
Yeah.
Could be a tablet, and you have a crack, GadgetBuyback.com. Send it in. They'll fix it for you, get it right back to you. They've got a store here locally, by the way.
Oakville. Oakville. Patty Maroon might stop by.
5541 Telegraph Road, and they'll fix it in like less than an hour.
Go to Blarney Stone, and get a burger, and then come back and your shit's fixed. Here's another thing, by the way, companies. If you're a company, corporations that you're handing out different tablets to all your, and you're getting a little bit old, they'll fucking buy that back from you in 2 seconds, and then you guys, they'll give it back. You get a little bit of coin. You could revamp your whole stock of new tablets, which you need to do every couple of years anyway. They'll buy it back. They'll buy anything back.
Yeah.
And they're big hockey
So if
people,
you're a
by the
business
way.
owner, you got a bunch of tablets, phones, whatever,
Yes.
they're getting old, turn them in.
Yeah,
They'll buy
big
them from
company.
you,
Fuck
and then you can upgrade some new phones, newer phones. Again, 5541 Telegraph Road. They're going to have a bunch more locations here in
Yes.
St. Louis soon,
Yeah.
by the way. So they've got the one in Oakville. But their website, www.gadgetbuyback.com. Watches, too.
Oh, dude. Anything. Apple, all that shit.
Computers, like I said. And again, it doesn't have to be just Apple. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Gadget Lab Mobile. And we'll continue to tell you more and more about Gadget Lab.
Hockey people.
Welcome to the team.
Andy. Hockey people.
Great
We love
to
the
have
hockey.
you on board.
The car shield belt. I mean, come on. They fucking love it. It's awesome. We're so excited about this, and it's so easy to talk about, like breaking your fucking phone. I dropped my phone 15 fucking times. I need to take it back in there. Look, if you get your phone out in front of people and it's cracked, you're a hillbilly. I'm gonna say it right now. You're a hillbilly. Fix that shit. Fix it.
What are you wearing, by the way? Today?
Oh, God. Speaking of hillbilly. Okay. I fucked up today. I'm wearing, like, sandals and socks with a Reebok sock.
Ankle socks. You have like one Nike
I
sock, one
suck.
Reebok sock.
I suck. I
Look-
suck.
Look
And it's
like
so weird. I did my show at home. I thought I was at the
dad.
studio there. I'm at home, and I forgot I'm not wearing shoes.
Okay, 877-772-8880. Again, 877-772-8880 for Gadget Lab. So be sure to check them out. All right, Georges Laruque on this edition, episode number 44. Who's your favorite 44?
Pronger.
Okay. You knew one this time.
I know.
Okay, that's
40.
good.
Jesus.
Daryl Sador, he was 44 too.
Whatever.
Jason Arnott, he was 44. All right, Georges Laruque with us now on the Cam and Strick podcast. What's up, man? So, hey, listen, where you at, man? Are you in Montreal still, or do you live in Edmonton?
Full-time.
Like, where do you spend your time?
No. I'm full-time in Montreal, but my kids are in Edmonton, so I fly back and forth. My kids, my twins, they live with their mom.
Oh, really? So are you working out in Montreal? You're just doing everything there, and do you see the kids a lot, or?
Yeah. Every 2 months I go there for a week, and in the summer they spend half the summer in Montreal.
Nice.
Listen, man, so much talk about this COVID stuff, and to see that you had it, was just crazy. To see a guy who's young, who's healthy, whatever, come down with it, and then just everything that came with it. How sick you were, man. Describe how bad it was, and just going through that experience was like for you.
Well, to be honest with you, it was not that big of a deal. Like, when I can't believe that I got it. I never thought I was going to get it. I thought it was invincible because I'm vegan and I trained for a marathon and I'm really healthy. So I never thought I was going to get that. And when I got it, the only reason why I went to the hospital is because I was delivering food to elderly people. And I wanted to make sure if I had it, I could tell them so then they could go get checked to make sure I didn't infect them. But for myself, when I got it, I had a hard time to breathe a bit and I have fevers and stuff, but I knew it was gonna go away. When I was in my room and they were plugging oxygen going through my nose, I was doing exercising. And the two elderly people that were dying in the room, they thought I was nuts, that I was crazy. But I just know that when you're sick, you got to keep moving around, not just laying down. Because if you lay down, you let the sickness get to you. So if you're moving around and stuff, you're giving a chance to your immune system to fight it off. Because if you're moving, then your body has to be activated. So that's what I was doing. I was moving. I was doing breathing exercise. I was moving around all the time. I wasn't laying down all day. And then that way, they thought I was going to be there for 2 weeks. And after 4 days, I was gone.
And you're exercising in the room, and you've got these old people who are next to you who have COVID, and they're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, burpees in the middle of the hospital room,
Yeah,
or
give
what?
an example.
Yeah, I was doing squat, burpees, jumping jack. And they were looking at me, and they're like, that guy's nuts. Because I had those tubes of oxygen in my nose, and I was doing exercise. Even the nurse were like, man, that guy is so hyperactive. What is he doing? They didn't understand. Nobody quite understood what I was doing. They were like, why don't you relax? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what am I going to do? Just sleep all day and lay dead? Like, I'm so hyperactive. I can't lay down and don't be active. I'm always moving around doing things. So when this happened, I was just, no, there's no way that I'm sleeping and listening to people dying all day, because that's what was going on. The floor that I was on, everybody was infected with COVID, and that's what they were doing. They were coming there to die. I was actually the youngest guy on the floor. I felt so bad. Everybody was twice my age. So I was like, what am I doing there? So I couldn't wait to get out of here because it was so depressing. And I felt for them because I felt sorry because obviously the immune system not strong enough to overcome it. And because I'm younger, I knew I was going to be okay. But still, it was still a reality check for me because I kind of underestimate how contagious this was. And I guess, you know what, I think everybody's going to get it because since there's no vaccine or anything, we just have to learn to live with it, you know. And the minute you're out of your house, you're exposed to it, so you're gonna get it. And if you're younger and you have good immune system, your body's gonna fight it off. And you know, sometimes some people won't have any symptoms, but that's how it's gonna be. And there's nothing we could do about it. The only way you could make sure that you're not gonna get it is if you locked yourself at home until there's a vaccine. But other than that, once you go out, it's so contagious that there's a good chance anybody could get it.
Yeah, I kind of with you on that. And I guess, again, I don't know. We all don't know everything, but you certainly have been, you know, exposed to this thing firsthand. And I mean, God, Georgie, like think about just going to the gas station and touching the pump. Like we have to pump our own gas in Missouri, which in New Jersey you don't. I kind of like that. But you can do it anywhere. I mean, honestly, you can get it anywhere. And I think you're kind of right on that. I think the people that are kind of predisposed and have a pre-existing condition are the ones that are affected. But everybody else, they might have it. I mean, I'm talking to people in Jersey, cops of mine. They're like, dude, I had that damn thing in February, and I didn't know what it was, and they got through it. But again, it affects people differently. So if you had to sum it up, is that kind of what you think of this whole thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, there's so many people right now that have it, they don't even know. And they just fight it up. They think it's a little cold or whatever. But that's why I say we have to learn how to live with it. Because what they're doing, what the government is doing with the economy right now is actually going to be worse than this virus itself. Because when this thing is going to be solved, if everything is like not quite open for another 6 months again, so many companies are going to close. People are going to go under. People are going to commit suicide. The depression, the tax is going to go up.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many problems that if we think COVID was bad, man, after the economy, we got something else coming. And that's why the way this whole thing is handled is wrong. They're scaring people for nothing. People are afraid to do anything. And now I look at the whole thing, they're setting up the world with a vaccination that the government is going to make trillion, while some people will lose their business. So that's why I feel so bad. But, you know, when you scare people, when vaccine come, people will be running to get it, you know?
Well, you know George, man. I mean, even COVID-19, man, they're not fucking with you. I mean, you're too big, okay?
Yeah, no shit. COVID's like, fuck this. He throws lefts, too.
He's like, oh, my God. So,
actually,
I love how you said how you fought it off, man. That's
Cam,
a perfect way to put it.
There's one thing we have to say about you, though, Cam. There's one thing. I've always had the most respect for you. And the reason why is because you're not a big guy, and you were fighting heavyweights. And, you know, when they talk about guys pound for pound that were the toughest in the game, your name has to be up there with Ty Domi, because you were a smaller guy, you weren't afraid, and you would throw bombs with guys, and you would go, and you were a small guy. So because of that, I've always respected you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, but
take that, Andy.
But he never.
That's Big George.
He never fought you, George. What's up with that?
Why? It doesn't matter. You know how hard it is to fight. You know how hard this job is. It doesn't matter that the fact we didn't fight. It doesn't. I don't look at it like that. He's fought some other big guys, and he did pretty good. Oh, yeah. And he was outweighed and out height every fight pretty much. And when you see that, you kind of respect that, because this job was not easy for me. So I could just imagine for him what he was thinking before playing a game against a bigger guy than him. His mind process must be so different than mine was. Mine was, I can't lose. But yours is, I can't get killed. You know, it's totally different, you know, and you always did so good. And you got respected by most of the guys that did the job.
I got a funny story. I might as well get into it real quick. You were playing in Phoenix at the time, and I remember playing. You'd always have the puck in the corner, and you do your thing. You'd go around the net. You know what I'm talking about, Georgie. You stick your butt out, and you do your thing. Well, I was on the wing, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch him coming up the wall. You know, one of those sneak down catch hits. Yeah. So I see it. You're not seeing me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get him. Then I'm gonna skate away, and I hit you so hard in your chest. You put me on my ass, you step over me, and you go, did you learn? And you skate away. You son of a bitch. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, I think you cracked my rib, too, by the way. So that's just the way it is,
actually,
man.
Cam, the one thing I have to admit, you know, when you say I'm in the corner and I'm sticking my ass out, protecting the puck, my ass was always sticking out.
You couldn't get the puck away from you. You just hold it and hold it. I'm like, God damn it, I got to stop this somehow. Oh, man, actually, that was so funny.
You know why I did that? You know why I did that, actually, Cam? You're going to laugh. The reason I was doing that, I was like, even though I wasn't doing much with the puck when I was protecting in the corner, I was like, at least I'm in the offensive zone.
Exactly.
I'm not in my zone, because if I stay in my zone, I'm not going back out there.
Funny how that works. Trust me, I get it.
Listen, George, it's interesting because, you're one of the toughest guys ever, certainly one of the toughest guys of your era, without a doubt. And you said, you would get a little bit of anxiety that comes with fighting. People like Cam said he loved fighting, even though you probably had some anxiety.
Oh, big time.
Did any part of you love it, though? Did you love the job? Any part of it at all?
To be honest with you, I hated it. I hated fighting. It was not me. And I never thought I was going to be a fighter when I was a kid. And when I played junior hockey, I knew I had to fight because I wasn't good enough skill-wise to be in the NHL. I had anxiety. It doesn't matter who I was fighting. I was always afraid. I was afraid of losing. I was afraid of dying. It was crossing my mind. And when I was playing guys like the day before, if I'd play Bugard the next day, or guys that were really big, I had anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares. And most of the guys that did that job, we all had that. And the thing is, even though you have anxiety, you can't show it to your teammates. You dress up for the game. They can't see it in your face, because if they see that you're scared, they're going to be even more scared. So you always have to act invincible. And that's why there's many guys that did the job today. They went crazy. They took drug, alcohol. And the reason why they did that is to fight anxiety, so they didn't have to think about it. Because the hardest part of fighting is not the fighting itself, because once the adrenaline kicks in, you don't feel anything. But the day before, when you're with your family or you go watch a movie or you do something else and you know tomorrow you're going to war, then those thoughts comes to your mind, and then you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? So if, Cam, really you were like that, you liked it and you loved it, man, I don't know how you did that, and how you must be something, because man, I was not like that.
No, I'm fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But I would go through. I swear to God, it was more during the day, and then honestly, like, it's just leading up, and you have to be happy in the locker room. Happy, Cam. Everybody's happy. You got to be, put that front on, but you're nervous as shit. But once you're out there, I'm like, fuck everything. I don't give a shit. Let's go. And then once it's over, and you did put a show on, and you look at the bench, and everybody's going, you're skating to the box, you have a euphoric high, man, and you live off that. That's like the light at the end of the tunnel when you go out there and fight the monster, that you're going to feel that just great high afterwards. And I don't know, you kind of live through that, but damn, dude, it ages you, man. It honestly does.
Yeah, but me, I didn't have the hype. When it was over, I just had a relief that it was done, and I wasn't dead,
Really?
It was totally different, because I don't know if you knew this, Cam, but every time I fought, I always told the other guy good luck before.
I know you did.
And after, I was asking penalty bench if he's okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like it. It was not me. I was not a mean person. Another thing also I did is I never hit a guy when he was down. And everybody, the referees, all the tough guys, they knew that around the league, that I never did that. Because I never wanted to kill anyone. I just wanted to win. And it was over, and nobody was hurt. That was my mindset. So there was kind of code that I had when I was doing it that everybody knew, and I think I got respected because of that. Because I never, if I was fighting a guys that was smaller, I didn't want to embarrass guys. I didn't want to. I wasn't also a taunter. Like, I didn't chirp because I was tough. Some guys that are tough, they would chirp at the other guy's bench to make the other tough guy looks bad. Or I never turned down anybody. Everybody that wanted to fight me, I always said yes, because I know they wanted to make a name for themselves. I never turned them down saying that, get out of here, rookie, or you don't play enough or whatever. I never did that, because I understood how hard this job is. I understood how hard it is to make a name for yourself. And when I was a rookie, Tony Twist gave me a chance, and Probert, and all those guys that were at the end of their career. So it was my duty when I played to give a chance to the up-and-coming guys that were coming, even though I didn't like it. But that's why I never said no.
The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now back to the interview. See, this is such a great education into the mind of the tough guy and just how it goes, how you pass the torch. I love how you would say good luck, man. But Well, if people are listening to you right now, they probably would think that you don't like fighting in the game, but I've seen you in interviews say that you do like fighting. So explain your stance in terms of where it belongs in the game.
No, okay. What I have said is that people have asked me if fighting should be out of the game, and I've always said yes. And the reason why I've always said yes, so people can understand. First of all, when I decided to fight in the NHL, nobody put a gun to my temple. It was my choice because that's what I had to do to be in the NHL. That's what put bread on the table for me. Now that I'm retired, I would say that all the guys that fought for a living, that now are against fighting, they're all hypocrite. Because it's so easy now that you retire to go in a popular way and say, you know what? My career is done. Let's take fighting out of the game. Nobody said that while they were fighting, while they were in the NHL. If somebody was a heavyweight in the NHL, after 1 year, they decide to retire and say, you know what? Fighting's too dangerous. It should be out of the game. I would listen to him. But why every time somebody talks against fighting, it's guys that did the job, now they're retired, they made all their millions, now they're against it. So that's why, even though I didn't like it, I know that there's some guys playing junior hockey, that if there's no fighting, like me, he's not going to have a chance to play in the NHL. And he hopes fighting stays to be there. And a lot of those guys, you can, because for smaller guys, or me for bigger guys, we're role models to them. If they listen to us talking against fighting when they hope it stays to have a job, we're not the role models anymore because that's what we did. So we have to defend the job that we did that was entertaining, that was bringing energy to the building, that was changing momentum, that was doing all that stuff. So that's why I'll never talk against fighting, even though I didn't like it, because some kids hope it stays so he could have a job one day.
So does it bother you? I mean, I'll use Daniel Carcillo as an example because he's probably the most vocal about it on social media. I mean, have you heard some of his comments? And does it bother you to see former players who had a role in the game that included fighting and now they're kind of doing what you're talking about?
Well, the thing with Carcillo is I feel bad about what he's doing and everything's going on because I have a hard time. And I don't want to, and it's not, I don't want to crucify him or whatever, but I have to be honest about this point because it's not just him. There's many guys that does it, but I have a really hard time about the guys that are suing the NHL right now because of the trauma hit to the head because of fighting and all that stuff. Like, are you kidding me? Are you going to tell me that when you signed up, like when you worked your way up to play in the NHL, that you didn't know the danger of fighting? Like, it's like they going into this lawsuit thinking that, the NHL didn't prevent enough, like they didn't tell us enough of the danger of fighting and the head trauma and what it could do and this and that. I don't need the NHL to tell me that. I knew that when I got in and when I started to do this and I started to do this job and I was fighting guys, I knew I could get fucked up. I knew my head, I could have brain injury. I knew all that. And because we saw what happened to guys that did the job before. We saw some stories, some of the stuff that happened. So there's a risk in it. Just like there's a risk if you want to be a boxer, a UFC fighter, a football player, all the physical sport contact, there's a risk that come with it. So I was never about to sue the league because, I didn't know the risk just so could have a make a money grab. That's why I disagree with it. I feel bad that he's not in good shape, and I hope he gets the help that he needs. But that, in no way, in my mind, is the fault of the NHL because they never force any role player to be fighters and to actually fight and to make a living in the NHL. It was out of our own will. So in life, we have to assume the decision that we make.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you on that. And I'll tell you this. I set me up for life, really. George, like, God, I got my own radio show. I got this. Don't get me wrong, I work my ass off, but like that I was able to express my emotion. I mean, I was a crazy kid that was able to do that. But I will say this, man. You know how when I got hurt in games, it wasn't from me trying to fucking hit somebody and toe pick and going to the boards 100 miles an hour, or taking a shot off my ankle. Like I got caught a couple times hard. I had to eat a lot of punches, but my head's okay and I'm fortunate. But I got hurt with the hitting and with the damn puck, that little black thing out there, more than any fight I've ever had, and I've been in a bunch of them.
Yeah, no, you're right. The puck there, it's like, it doesn't matter because when you fight, you're on skate, you're out of balance. So a punch is not the same as if you're on your feet and you're punching somebody. So the blow is totally different. But this puck and all the hitting that we try to do, because if we're not physical enough, we're not going to play, and we have to throw a body out there, whether we miss the guy or not, it doesn't matter. We have to make our presence felt every time. Our body takes a toll all the time, and it's hard, and we feel it. But you know what? That's our job. We were energy players, and that our teammates loved when we played. They felt safe, and I knew you were really popular in St. Louis, which you had big shoes to fill after Chase and Twister was gone.
Oh yeah.
But still, you did a pretty good job, and that's when you're on the radio now, because most tough guys, they're fan favorites. I'm on the radio too in Montreal, and I'm set for life. I do a radio show, but in French, because guys that watch the games, they're blue-collar workers.
Yes.
And they identify themselves more with tough guys than the guy that makes $10 million a year that doesn't sweat and he has 3 goals and assists after a game, and he didn't even go in the corners,
Hey, man, it's great stuff. Now, did you get a chance to read Akeem Alou's story that he wrote in the Players Tribune? And if you did, what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts overall in terms of where we are in race relations in the National Hockey League?
Okay, well, there's a couple things on that. First of all, I know that racism is still there in 2020, and there's still a lot of long road to go, in the society, because there's still a lot of people that are closed-minded. So on that, I agree that there's work to be done. In the NHL, I've never, other than a little incident with Sean Avery, I've never experienced racism in the NHL. And I could say that the NHL, unlike soccer and a lot of other sports, is a much cleaner in terms of racism than anything else. When I read the story about Akeem Alou, obviously I felt bad, because it goes back to the Peter's story, the coach in Calgary that was coaching him in the minors, and what happened between the two. Yeah. And now Peter's, the league got him out of the league. Like, I know that the Calgary kind of made a buyout, but I know he kind of had to resign, and then he went. Now he's coaching in the KHL, which was the right thing to do. But it's tough to comment on, because people are asking me, what do you think about his teammates? Shouldn't they take a stand for him, and this and that and this? The thing is, for me, it's hard to comment on it, because we only have Akeem's part of the story, but we don't have his teammates. We don't have other people. So yes, his teammates have confirmed what happened to him, but we haven't heard on their side who took a stand for him, what happened. So it's hard to criticize anyone else and to say, what else has happened, because it's a tough situation. Maybe it did cost his career, like he says, because of what he's been through. I know what it's like to fight racism, because I had to do that. But when I was in minor hockey, not when I turned pro and I played in the NHL. But if it's what happened to him, I felt really bad, because making the NHL is so hard that fighting for yourself, like getting called, like endure racism while you try to be in the NHL. It's a task that once you become a man, that it's a big hurdle that some people will never be able to get over, right? So I feel bad for him, and I hope that now when people see his story and what happened, it sensibilize people in the future to make sure that they don't ever put a kid in a situation like this.
Well, you brought up Avery. We actually had him on the podcast. What did he say to you? You said he was the one guy that had some sort of mark for you.
Yeah, he called me a monkey when we were in LA many times, and I because I think before I act. I obviously wanted to club him in the hand with my stick, but I knew if I did that, my career would be over. And I was so mad when he did that. And it's crazy because the referee didn't hear it, they couldn't suspend him. But every time I play him in the future, the NHL gave me a hidden mic when I was playing him. But I think he knew, because he never said another word to me. Every other games we played after, and he was a chirper. So I think he kind of knew that I had a hidden mic, so he never said anything. But I knew the NHL wanted to suspend him. They wanted to look for a chance to do it, because he did so many terrible things. And when he did the FNF comment there, they were able to make him pay for a lot of other things that they couldn't suspend him for. They wanted him out of the league because of some of the stuff that he's done. And it's too bad, because he was a good player, but his antics that he did destroyed him, destroyed his reputation, and then no team, no player wanted to play with him.
Wow. Hidden mics. Hidden mic. The NHL just put a hidden mic. Like how often would they do that? And
every time I played him, I had a hidden mic that I had, so we could catch him, because the the referee didn't hear him, right? They need proof to suspend him. Otherwise, he would have sued the league. So they give me a hitting mic, and then I would go close to him all the time when I play against him. And he never said anything. So I knew that he knew, because there's no way. He never even say, didn't even say anything, didn't even say fuck off or whatever, not one word. So, it's not like it's a big FBI investigation where it was so hitting that nobody would have known. Maybe his team find out or whatever. Maybe they saw somebody coming in, putting the mic on. I have no idea how they knew, but there's cameras everywhere in the building. So pretty sure that they must have caught it, and they said, hey, Sean, he has a mic, so be careful. And that's it. It never happened again.
Had you ever heard of another player being wired with a hidden mic or an opposing player? Had you ever heard of that before?
No, never heard. But now you've heard the first with me. But other than that, I've never heard of anyone having to do something like that. Like, this is what Sean Avery did. This is what the league had to do to catch that guy, just to let you know how they were watching him, because I've never heard of a story like this before.
Hey, how much would you encourage minority players who are in the game today to be active in the minority community specifically? Do you think we're getting enough of that right now in the National Hockey League, and we could improve on that from that standpoint?
Well, okay. The thing with that is, first of all, the NHL, they try to grow. And the only way the NHL could grow is if minorities get interested in hockey, because the reason why hockey is like number 4 to number 5 in the most popular sport in the States is because there's not enough minorities that play hockey. And until you do that, you're not going to capitalize on making more money. The problem with that, though, it doesn't matter how much effort they want to do, and if I start doing speeches and SN Carter and all those guys, the problem is hockey is expensive. And family for minorities, especially that comes from South, they can't afford it. Hockey is way too expensive, the equipment and everything. First of all, it's a sport that they don't know, that their parents didn't watch. Some of them do, but it's very rare. And then they're not really interested in the cold. And that's also another thing, because when it's cold, people, they don't really want to go to the rink, right?
Yeah.
And all the other sports, you need a pair of shoes to play soccer, to play basketball, and that's it. You don't need anything else. Hockey is so complicated, the stuff that you need, and then you have to practice. And on top of all that, there's no role model, because they look at a sport, whether we want to admit it or not, NHL is labeled as a white man sport, because there's no brothers that play in NHL. There's a very few. And because of that, what that does, and they look at the sport, they're like, with all the story we've heard, and like, look at the Hakeem Aliou story that went all over the place.
Yeah.
You think a parent, when their kids wants to play hockey, they look at that, they're like,
right,
I feel safe for my kids to play hockey, so he's going to be in that situation. So because of all those situations, parents are afraid to put their kids into hockey. Hockey is too expensive. So all those hurdles that the NHL has to fight through to be able to encourage kids to play. So that's why there's less and less colored players that are playing, and because of all those factors. So that's why it's going to be really hard, and I don't think it'll ever change. I don't think it'll ever change. Like, soccer, football, and basketball is so popular in the States that most colored kids that grow up, like you look at just the Last Dance documentary that was out with Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
You know how many kids wants to play basketball now?
Oh, exactly.
Hockey is the last thing in their mind.
Let me say this, though, Georgie. You're right. My family went broke because of me. And they had other issues too. But they did. They had to sell a house, and I was expensive. And we were in St. Louis. You had to go places. It's cost a ton of money. But it's a double-edged sword. It did help me as well. Like it got me focused as a crazy kid to like put that craziness into something positive. So that worked. And do you want your kids to play football now? I mean, really? Like, you want a 350-pound lineman just hitting them, and all of a sudden you're out for 18 months and the concussions. That's an issue. It's a big issue. So hockey's somewhat, although hard and expensive, it's kind of that last resort of physicality, speed, and the emotion in the game without getting hit every 2 seconds in football.
Though, George, you're saying it's more of a cultural issue, though, right? In terms of the challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's not going to happen, and especially in the States, like this last sport that they're going to look at. Hey, but Cam, I'm so glad that you're here, because the question I wanted to ask you, I watched the other day online. I think it was a charity game. Were you fighting Bissonnette for real?
Well, he kept talking shit, and he's the fucker. He just knows how to put on it. So he scores a goal right off the bat. And that's like, I'm an alumni. We're in St. Louis. He's talking a big game. He's got the fucking cameras on him. He scores a goal right off the bat. I'm on the ice, and he skates by the bench. He goes, Nice minus, Cam. I'm like, fuck this. My family's in the stands. So I challenged him and, hey, Georgie, you know those play fights that kind of are real, in practice?
Yeah.
Well, that was that. It was like the in-between where I might catch him in one. He might catch me in one.
You made him look bad. That's why I was wondering if it was real or not, because he went down, then he gets up, he goes back again. He looks so bad. I was laughing. So I didn't know if it was a montage, if it was real, but now I'm glad that
that was real. No, that was real. No, they're so funny, man. You know what? When you get invited to those kind of things, you got to put a show on, and that's what we did, and that's what we do. Let me get into something real quick, too, with you, like, so you said the NHL was fine, and you didn't, besides Aves, of course, and it was okay, but in juniors was a different story, man. Like how was that coming up? You didn't know what you were kind of confused on your role. I know you piss pumped. What's that big boy's name? Oh my God, you had a black neck guard on too, George. You had the black tux, the tacks with the neck guard, and you pumped a couple guys. You build your confidence up, but then you're hearing shit from the stands and stuff. Kind of walk us through that a little bit, Georgie.
Well, all my minor hockey was even worse because people would call me the N-words all the time. Like people from other teams, the parents were shouting the N-words at me so much that my parents refused to go to the game. They didn't watch me playing minor hockey. They actually didn't want me to play hockey because they said that it's not good to grow with this hatred and it's going to affect me as a man. And I told my parents, I was a kid. I was 7 years old. I was like, I can't quit. I'm going to play in the NHL. My parents didn't even know what the NHL was. And what I had to do when I went home, when people would call me the N-word, I was crying, but I couldn't show my parents I was crying. Otherwise, they would pull me out if they thought that it affected me. So at night, I would unleash on my pillow and I would cry with all the hatred that I got. That was for 10 years of minor hockey. I was like that, and they never saw anything because I couldn't show them that would affect me because I knew they would pull me out of it. And when I was playing junior hockey, the thing is, I was much stronger and I was closer to my goal of playing in the NHL. So I didn't care what people were saying, what they were doing, because I knew I was going to play in the NHL when I was playing junior hockey. I was certain of it. And what helped me out a lot is when I was a kid, I read the Jackie Robinson autobiography. And when I read that, there was a kid version of it and he was explaining on it how he was fighting racism as a kid to be the first black player to play baseball. And when I read that, all the racism that I had to endure, I was like, oh my God, what I'm going through right now is normal because that's what Jackie went through to make it to Major League Baseball. So I'm going through the same process, but in hockey. So when I read that, it gave me fuel to be able to accept the criticism. And the only way I could fight back is not with my fist, is with making it to the NHL and to make a statement like he did in baseball. And when I did that, because of him, because he gave me the strength to do it, another dream that I had is to write my own autobiography like he did. I did it in French and English, and it became bestsellers. And I was able to talk about that story, about this book and what he did. And that's all that, in life, there's always things that happens that helps you achieve your dream. And Jackie Robinson, for me, was the push that I needed to fight through anything negative to be in the NHL.
Unbelievable.
So, what would you tell? If a young black kid right now, if he thought about playing hockey, would you encourage him to play and feel like it's a safe environment for young kids?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
First of all, of course, I encourage hockey is for everyone. So it doesn't matter the color that you are. If you want to play hockey, I always encourage everybody to play hockey. And I know there's not a lot of role model in the NHL, but how about you become one? How about you play and hopefully you make it and you become a role model for other kids? There is this chance that you could do, right? But what I would say is that now things are much better than now that they used to be. And you should always play for the love of the sport. Don't look at the color and have fun and don't be afraid. If your parents could afford you playing hockey and you like it, give it a chance, have fun, and you never know what could happen.
Cam and Strick podcast here for our boy Dan Bellman with Bellman.com.
Yeah, baby.
You need some new wheels? Why not get a Cadillac, a Buick, a GMC? Head out to Troy today. And again, don't forget about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram right across the street.
No doubt.
Right there in Troy, Missouri. Visit them online. Check out their new selection, the pre-owned selection, the best service you will find anywhere in the country. Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
Now back to the interview. Hey, listen, I know your parents are from Haiti. That's where your family's from, and you've done a lot of work there, man. How special is that place to you?
Well, it is because one of the best things my parents did for me when I was a kid is they brought me there twice. Because when you go to Haiti when you're a kid, that's when you realize how lucky you are when you live in Canada.
Yep.
When you live in Canada, all your dreams could come true. You know, you're hungry, you want to drink something, you could go to a park and drink water. In Haiti, people, they walk 10 kilometers up the mountain to go to a fountain to go get water and they go back down. You know, everything is so different. So right away, when I went there twice as a kid, as a person, it makes you appreciate your position and be happier than where you are than complaining all the time. So when I actually what happened is in 2010, February 21st, 2010, I got released by the Canadian, that Montreal Canadian. When I got released, it was 1 week after the earthquake that happened in Haiti. I already played 13 years in the NHL, and when I got released, to me, I took it like a calling that I had to do something for Haiti since my parents were born there. So what I did is I worked with the NHL and the NHLPA. I raised like a couple millions, and then I helped rebuild the Great Children Hospital in Port-au-Prince in Haiti, a hospital that collapsed during the earthquake. And I went there and I brought PK Subban one time with me. Dan Amius came with me. There's many guys that came with me to see the hospital, and I did a lot of work to raise money, awareness. And then when I did all that, I was able to have, my imprint at a hospital where my parents were born. I felt I had to do something, and I'm so happy that I was able to do my part to help out in Haiti because those were my origins.
Gosh almighty, man. I remember that earthquake. Actually, a guy played for the Cardinals, good friend of Andy and I's, Kyle McClellan. He goes down there, and he does. Do you know him? You know Kyle?
No, I know. I don't know him personally. But I know
you need it. You guys. He does so much work down there, and I'm going to link you guys together. You bring up that you're a vegan now. I don't know when your heaviest point was when you were playing, but I'm guessing you're in the 260, 70 mark. You're a vegan now.
I was 260.
Whew, good God. I think I'm 260 right now, to be completely honest with you. But let me get to so you became vegan because of animal abuse, and Andy and I are both animal lovers. I got 2 kitty cats. I got 2 dogs. I love it. I was going to bring up the point that I don't like big game hunting and things like that. I'm not a big hunter, but where's your stance on like the animal abuse for meat and all that stuff? Where do you stand on that?
Well, the thing is, in 2009, I became vegan after I saw the Herdlings documentary that you could see online. Mm-hmm. And when I watched that, I didn't just see animals getting slaughtered, but I saw how bad it is for your own health and the environment. And when I saw that, I cried. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I was encouraging those industry. And I became vegan right away. And that was it. I never went back. And actually, Zdeno Chara is vegan too. And he's a monster at 43 years old. Yeah, but and O'Reilly too is vegan.
Yes, he
you know
is.
that?
Yes. And Steiner.
Paul Stastny.
Stastny is now too.
Yeah.
Oh shit. You're a vegan.
So like when I look at all that stuff, like for your health, like it's when you learn about the stuff you put in your body, like the dead animal corpse full of HGH and chemical that are rotten in your intestine and all that stuff that are causing so much disease. And the competition of dairy product is pus, morphine, and blood, and it's so acidic, so bad for you. It causes osteoporosis for women, and it takes iron out of their blood. And all those lies that you hear on TV that people think that we need to eat that stuff because it makes you stronger is so not true. A body like. People are always like, well, God put animal in this world for us to eat. But the thing is, people don't eat animals that are living naturally. They eat animals that are grown chemically in farms, in slaughterhouse, like and stuff, which is so not healthy. And that's what people are putting in their body, and it's causing so much disease. So when I saw all that stuff, the way it was done, I was like, that's it. I'm not putting that stuff in my body anymore. And I felt stronger, better, and way healthier. And and I never went back. And that's why I started doing a lot of vegan conferences around the world, because most people that talk about veganism are people that do yoga that are 100 pounds wet, that levitate in the wind, Yeah. But when you have a big black elephant, 300 pounds, that talks about veganism, people are like, wow. Then they want to hear the story, right? So it works actually much better.
I know.
And actually, Cam, I have a story for you, actually.
What's up?
That you're going to love. You're one of the reasons why I got released from Montreal.
Oh!
Listen to this story. This is actually crazy. Couple days maybe a week before I got released, we were playing you guys. We're playing St. Louis, and I was a healthy scratch because Jacques Martin didn't want any tough guys. After I got released, he said, I don't believe in tough guy. I believe in team toughness. And then look at what Chara did after he took Pacioretty's head out and he almost killed him. But anyway, he didn't want any tough guys, so we're playing you guys. And then he healthy scratched me, so you're playing and I'm not there. So you're so happy, you're playing physical, and you ran Carey Price. Remember that? You ran Carey Price.
One of the best clips of all time.
So after the game, the media are like, what the F? What the F? Sorry,
you fucking cuss. You can cuss, dude. It's our podcast.
So they're like, well, like Cam Jensen was playing, and you're the home team, so you could see that he was playing, and you still didn't dress Georges Laruque. So they were like, why George is there then if he doesn't play when even Cam Jensen is playing and he ran Carey Price? So at that time, they saw there was new utility in me. They didn't need me because I wasn't playing anymore. And I got released shortly after that because they're like, if Cam Jensen's playing, he's running Price, George not playing, why is he in Montreal then? So then I got released after that. So the clip on Carey Price got me out of Montreal, man.
Do I owe you money for that?
That's an amazing story.
I wouldn't have touched him if you were in the lineup, by the way. So.
No.
No, but again, it doesn't like it depends. It depends what happens, right? Let's see. If you would have clipped Price, and I would have been playing, we'd have no choice to go. I know. We'd have no choice.
Well, he wanted to fight me there too, but I got the wind knocked out of me. He probably would have kicked my ass. It would have been a double whammy for him.
No. Price, you would have killed Price, sure.
He's too pretty.
But Cam, if I played and you did that, and I'd say, Cam, we have to go next shift, you would have went because I know you.
Of course. I'd eat those jackhammers. I'd take a beating and take it and like it. That's how it goes.
Maybe not. You don't know that. You never know. Man, you went with Ryan Reeves. You went with anyone. So you always try that big punch, kind of like that could be deceiving. And you never know. Maybe you would have caught me with a one punch, and you'd be the first guy that knocked me out. You never know.
Or you would have Ryan Vandenbush my ass and fucking put me in the next week. Remember he tried to trade with you? He tried. He just a lefty, two lefties going out. You caught him. It is what it is. He's a warrior.
Hey, what about playing in Phoenix? And listen, we had Ronak on our podcast a few podcasts ago, and he basically said Wayne Gretzky and him didn't see eye to eye. Apparently, you didn't see eye to eye with him either. What was he like as a coach? Paint that picture for us.
Well, the thing is, before I talk about how he was as a coach, I just want to reiterate the fact that he was the best player to ever play the game in the history of the game. So there's no debate in that.
No.
That said, coaching is not the same as playing. When he was playing, everything was so easy for him. His skill was well above anyone. But as a coach, it was not his forte. It was not his specialty because it was tough, man. In Phoenix, first of all, we were getting slaughtered all the time. He never yelled at us. We never backskated. The practice weren't intense enough. That year that I played, everybody was putting on weight because the practice was too easy. Guys were more worried about the tee times than actually practicing. Oh. And, when you see stuff like this, it was like we had like a country club atmosphere without being good enough to be a country club. Yep. So what happened is that it's not that I didn't see eye to eye with him because I was actually having my best offensive year ever playing in Phoenix because I was playing lots. But what happened is that I was playing in Edmonton before where we were fighting every year to try to make the playoff. And if we didn't, we were really close. When I was in Phoenix, we were pretty much out of the playoff in December. So what happened is that I hated that atmosphere so much, and I hated playing for a team that had no chance of even making the playoff, that it has to be traded. I didn't want to be there anymore. And when I asked to be traded, he took offense to that, and he wasn't very happy about it. And then he's like, we kind of argue a bit, and then after that, he stopped playing me a couple games coming into the traded deadline, and then I got traded because I didn't want to be there anymore because the best part of hockey is playing the playoff, and I'm okay playing wherever, but if you play in a team that seems like no one cares and you're not going to play in a playoff, then what's the point of even playing hockey? So that's why I wanted to be out of there. I wanted to be traded, and I had a no-move clause and I had a couple picked teams to pick from, but then I picked Obviously Crosby, the Penguins. The chance of playing with Crosby and Malkin, it was a chance that I didn't want to pass by.
No. Were you on the same line with them or what? I mean, go Crosby and Malkin playing
That's
with
nerve-wracking even in practice.
Playing with those two guys. I mean, how good were they? I mean, what was your impression when you first saw them play?
First of all, Crosby is like when I played with him and I got to Pittsburgh, the stuff he would do in practice, it was like, the lacrosse thing. He could actually sometimes he would just score going coast to coast like that. But he would never do that in a game. But he would do things that you'd be like, man, you should do that in a game. He was so fast, so talented. He was unreal and so humble. There's so many guys who play with in the NHL that that they're good just the way that they talk. That must be the superstar of the team because he's good and he's playing it big. Crosby was not like that. He was so humble. He was the first guy on the ice, the last guy off the ice. And because of him, actually, the one thing that I didn't like about him, Cam, you're going to laugh. Because of him, we never had any optional. Because he was always on the ice for optional. So if the best player in the game is always on the ice, you can't take an optional. So we always practiced because he always wanted to be on the ice. It was insane. The trainer had to pull him out of the ice because as a fourth liner, when he's on the ice, he's not leaving the ice. I can't leave. Crosby's still on the ice. So I've never stayed on the ice so much when I played in Pittsburgh because he was always on it.
Unfortunately for me, I never had an option no matter what. I mean, just no matter what.
That's all. But to show you how respected George was, though. I mean, how many guys reached out to you, man, when you had COVID-19, including Crosby?
Oh man, it's crazy. Like Wayne did, and man, all the other Edmonton teams like Charlie Huddy, like Kevin Lowe, McTavish, Ryan Smith, Sean Brown, like everybody, pretty much everybody. Like it was Milan Lucic, like guys that are playing now, former guys. I was impressed because I know hockey is a big family fraternity, but I was impressed how many messages I got from all the guys you can let to and all the guys. It was awesome because hockey is not like the other sport. I'm not sure that if something like that happens other sport that guys are so concerned and they all send their wishes like that and stuff. But just the family in hockey, what you've played in, it's a fraternity. I think that you have for life, and we always worry and always wish the best for all our former teammates or guys that play in the league.
Andy Strickland and Cam Jansen here for you for GadgetBuyback.com. Yeah. Gadget Lab, they got a store here locally if you're in St. Louis, 5541 Telegraph Road. Here's the deal. You got an old phone, maybe a cracked tablet. Maybe it's perfect, but it's a little bit older. Turn it in right now. www.GadgetBuyback.com. Upgrade your devices, phones, computers, watches.
Anything.
Doesn't have to be Apple either. No. Get those tablets turned in. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com, 877-772-8880. Now back to the interview.
Yeah, I sent you a fist pump on Instagram, just so you know. It was a I mean, what do you want me to do? I saw that and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta give him at least a fist pump. That's my little thing I do. We got a couple more for you, Big George, and I know you hang out with another
no problem.
Another Big George that I'm a big fan of, and that's Georges St. Pierre. Unbelievable. Yeah. UFC. I'm a big UFC guy. Like, it's hardcore. These guys are, I like Connor. I like Masvidal.
You kind of look like him, actually.
You think like so? You think so?
Yeah. You have the same style as him.
Well, he's got way better hair than I do. I'll tell you that right now. And if I tried to head kick somebody, my groin would be snapped in half. Tell us a little bit how you hanging out with him, man. You like UFC? Like you guys did like I think it was a charity match where you kind of did a little bit of grappling. I mean, Georgie, you're a big tough dude, but that guy could put you in a pretzel in 2 seconds, can't he?
Yeah, no. First of all, we're very good friends, and the reason why we're good friends is I got to know George way before he was champion. Yeah. I got to know George when I was playing with the Oilers. And he was training in Edmonton, and nobody knew who he was. He was training MMA there, and I gave him jerseys, and I was cheering him on. So, when you're friends with somebody before he's champion, and you always cheer him on and support him, when he kind of becomes champion, your relationship always grows. Like, well, we went out many times, and he doesn't live far from me. We trained together, so we're always good friends. And the grappling thing we did the thing is, I was always teasing him, like saying that I'm sure that I could take you down. the people you're fighting are not smart, and I could do, if I was in a ring with you, I could do whatever I want with you. And I used to tease him all the time about it. And he was like, George, it's not like hockey. On the ice, I would not take, I would have no chance on skate, but in a cage, you'd have no chance. Like, George, are you kidding me? I could do whatever I want with you. So, and I really believed it. Oh. And then we did this fighting, and TSN was filming it. Michael Landsberg was filming it up. We went to TriStar, and we did it. And my God, it was like, I felt like an idiot. I couldn't do anything.
George.
He could have made me suck my thumb. He could have made me put a diaper, whatever he wanted it.
Dude.
He totally controlled me, man.
I don't give a shit how tough. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how strong you are. They will make. Georgie, I remember being in Windsor, and I remember trying to be a hard ass, and I remember these couple of American guys came over from Detroit, and I was big dog. I thought I beat a couple guys up on the ice that night, and he was talking shit, and I went out back, and this was when I was young. He put me into a pretzel and let me up in front of a bunch of girls. Then he did it again and choked me and put me up again, toying with me in front of everybody. I was losing my mind. Those guys know how to fight. Word of advice to everybody: you see anybody with cauliflower ear, you don't fuck with them.
Those are
you don't
wrestlers,
fuck with them.
Man.
Cauliflower ear, baby. Don't fuck with them.
Yeah. You're. You look at the ears. I love it. Look at the ears.
You look at the ears, baby. If they're blowing up, don't fuck with them.
Hey, Georgie, are you still into politics, or is that in the past?
No. First of all, when I was part of the Green Party, I was deputy leader for a couple of years. The only reason I joined is, first of all, I don't like politics, just so you know. Yeah. So we don't have to talk about Trump. Mm-hmm. But it's only because once I became vegan, the Green Party came up to me to see if I would talk about the environment, stuff like this, because I was vegan, and being vegan is the strongest action you could do for the environment. So that's how they got me. Okay. But I was never interested in politics, because I think the greatest people in this world for the humanity that did the great things to help others were not politicians. So, and politician, once you get into that game of lying and stuff like this, you're labeled as a liar the minute you're a politician. So, exactly. No, I'm not. I never wished a career out of it. I helped out the Green Party, but no, I never wanted to. I know I ran once. Because I was forced to, because nobody wanted to do it.
Oh no!
But other than that, I'm not into politics.
I don't want people looking up all my shit, Georgie. Like the first time you get into politics, they're like, "Let me check out your background here." Oh, you did? Like, fuck you.
Okay, you're immediately excluded.
Oh, fuck that. I'm done.
Hey, so first off, a book recommendation: read "Diet for a New America" by John Robbins. You'll love that book. He's like the heir of Baskin Robbins, who became a vegan. So I think you'll enjoy that. And are you are you a hardcore vegan? Like, will you wear tennis shoes? Will you wear a leather belt? Or are you just more about your nutrition and how you eat?
No, I'm a hardcore vegan. I don't wear any animal products. So I'm away from leather. In my car, away from leather. I don't buy any leather, anything that has animal fur or anything. It's actually easy to do. It's pretty simple. I don't judge people that. The most important thing, I don't judge people that eat meat or that wear leather and stuff, because I think it's a personal decision that people are making,
right,
that they're entitled to. And to be honest with you, I'd be pretty much alone in my world if I didn't respect people that ate meat, because most of my friends, my family, they all do. So, there's nothing that I could say, So, no, I respect everyone, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, no, that's
all about respect,
fucking
man.
man. Jeez.
To each their own.
Yeah, dude.
Cam would never. He wouldn't know what to do if you.
I ate steak tofu. Like 7 days a week. I know. I blame my parents, George. They gave me steak, and I had to eat it. I didn't know any better. Now I'm going to look into beauty.
How much you weigh now?
I'm probably 220, 230. I'm 230 right now. I need to be at 215.
What did you play at?
215, 212, 215 with Lou Lamoriello. 212 with Lou Lamoriello, because I got weighed in every single day. And I remember, Georgie, oh my God, a couple times.
How bad is he? As crazy as everybody say, Lou?
Oh God, well, look, Lou.
I hope you have another hour here, George.
I'm talking, Andy. I'm talking. He's gonna ask me about Lou. I'm gonna ask him his question. Lou was hardcore. I became a man because of that guy. I'm so glad. I swear to God, he was so good to me, and he kept me on my toes. And I was a little wild, and I was a little crazy, and I knew I wanted to work for him. But I learned so much from that man, George. I am telling you this right now. That guy's done so much. My mom and dad love him more than anything, because he's helped us out. Yes, dude. Yeah, man.
That is the first. To be honest with you, that is the first compliment I've heard from a player that had him.
Are you
That's
kidding?
remarkable.
Oh,
yeah,
Georgie.
That's remarkable, man.
Oh, Georgie. I love that man. I'm telling you. He did so much for me, and he took a chance on me. He signed me right away. I was wild. He brought me into his office. He put me in my place. Like I just needed it, man. I needed that, and you become disciplined playing for that guy. I owe a lot to that man. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And I fucked up a bunch of times in front of him.
I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless.
Yeah,
I'm speechless.
I know.
Hey, we've had a lot of guys who have come on here who played for Lou. Georgie, I just think they're all afraid to say anything bad about him publicly.
No,
That's my theory.
I'm still terrified of him. I'll tell you that. Georgie, I'm still terrified.
They're all scared to death of him.
He would look me in my eyes and stare into my soul and knew I went out the night before. He would know I did. I just needed it. And he has that little.
Yeah, but he had spies everywhere. He spied on guy. It's crazy.
I know he did. George, I know he did. When I went back into the hotel at night with an entourage of you know what, he would know because a clerk would watch me and like probably text him like, "Yep, Captain Cam came in with a bunch of 40-year-old women or whatever."
And that was on a young night.
That was on a young night.
Hey, he still has spies.
Oh, he does,
if Cam says something on a podcast, whatever, he may get a call.
Oh shit! I get text messages from. Oh yeah, I did the Spit and Chicklets interview, Georgie, and I told a story about that, and I got up. I remember I was hungover one morning, and I got a text from one of the Pete Albeats from Devils. He's like, "Lou wants to talk to you, Cam." I'm like, oh, my heart sunk, Georgie. It sunk. I went next door to my parents. I live next door. I went next door to my parents, and I'm like, "Lou wants to talk to me. I think he's pissed." And they're like, "What'd you do to him?" I'm like, "Oh fuck." And I went back over. I know. He talked to me because I kind of misquoted him a little bit. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to exaggerate the story. Oh, fuck, man. Scared to death. I don't even work for him. I'm fucking terrified of him still. Anyway, it is what it is.
Awesome.
It's great
that
stuff.
Hey,
awesome.
so wait, did you say you fought Probert? Did you say you did or no?
Yeah, I did.
Was that like a big deal to you? I mean, I know you fought Twister also. I'd love to hear your story about that. But Domi, Stu Grimson, I mean, some of the old school guys, you know?
No, but they were all big deal because I wanted to make a name for myself. So I was just happy after the fight with Probert I didn't get killed. But, you know, I'm lucky because I came in a time where they were closer to the end of their career. So they weren't as devastating as they used to be when they played. So that's why it was awesome. And actually, when I fought Twister, the rule of the jersey came in. Yep. So if you lost your jersey, you didn't tie yourself up, you get kicked out. So he got kicked out because his jersey everything came off.
Yeah.
You know?
He did it on purpose, by the way. He did it on Georgie, I bet you Twister's an awesome guy.
He
I
knows.
bet you $1 million, Georgie, he didn't tie that bad boy on purpose. I bet you $1 million, man.
Yeah,
well, I watched the video today. We went out to his house, by the way, for a
he's a
podcast
man.
a few months ago, man. I mean,
who was the toughest guy, though?
Talk about
were you afraid of anybody, though, Georgie? I know you bring up Robbie Ray, and I raised her through Pistons. Don't get me wrong, because you're a lefty and you're going against his right. He might come in the middle and catch you before you catch him. But who were you afraid of, or was there anybody besides me?
Well, I was afraid of Twister for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I was afraid of Boogeyman.
God.
Yeah, Derek Bugard, that passed away.
Oh God Almighty!
Yeah,
he knocked out 13 guys.
Did you fight him?
Hell no.
Did you fight him?
I fought Brad Staubitz instead, who's about 5'11" too. No. Bugard knocked out 15 guys in a row. Georgie, remember that? Remember he came on the scene?
Listen, you're 100% right. And the last guy before I fought him, he broke Fedoric's face. So it was the 15th guy in a row that he knocked out. So then I was in many, and I was like, I was petrified. The media came up to me in the morning skate. They're like, "So George, what do you think of the big guy?" It was so obvious. I was like, "Well, he's tough." I was like, "So I go tonight?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I guess he's gonna come and see me." I didn't sleep all afternoon, and I was petrified of him. And I did pretty good. I got him pretty good. Actually, I did pretty good every time I fought him. But it didn't matter the result. The anxiety, it took a couple life away from me every time before I was fighting him. Because I was so nervous.
Because he threw from downtown, and he's not just gonna hurt you. Like he's gonna set you back. Like it's fucking probably take years off your life. Like honestly,
that guy loved fighting so much. He did a fighting camp in the summer.
I know.
Man,
Yeah.
that's all he
So
wanted.
did Cam.
So did I, Georgie, for 15
What?
years. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
he went to a boxing guy.
My dad dropped me off at 16 years old at Jesse Finney in St. Louis. He goes, go in there. And I walked in. It was the most
way.
fucking intimidating thing. You ever walk into an MMA? Well, you could walk in anywhere. But for me, walking in at that age and all these shit kickers head kicking each other and they all stop and stare at me, I'm like, yeah, my dad dropped me off. I need to come in here. And then I started boxing.
way.
Yes. And then we created a hockey fight thing. And I had Patty Maroon and Brandon Bullock and all these St. Louis guys go into Finney's and learn how to hockey fight. So I
you
kind of
kidding
created something
me?
here. Yeah, dude.
Wow.
He just dropped me off.
That's
like, go in there.
incredible, man.
Fuck yeah.
That's incredible.
I had to, damn it. Good God. Georgie, look.
You've been
You're
awesome,
the man.
man.
You're the man, dude. You're the man.
Pleasure.
Dude, you need to come out here once everything gets normal again and come to some charity games. Come hang out with the boys.
Do you ever skate? Or
Dangle
no?
in the corners.
No, I skate all the time. I skate
yeah.
like, there's so many charitable games in Montreal and hockey helps the homeless and stuff that I do. So yeah, guys, invite me whenever. I'll be happy to come
yeah.
and play a charitable game with you guys. Invite me and I'm in for sure.
Awesome.
Good, you could take Andy's spot.
Come on now. Hey, I'll take you to a great vegan restaurant though called Frida's.
There we are.
They've got the O'Reilly burger there, and
Yeah.
listen, I'll hook up Natasha.
We know how to take care of you.
She's the owner, but all the boys, they all go eat there now. Now it's a big deal, man.
man.
They all eat vegan.
I'm going to start doing
Hey,
it. Too.
as long as they don't play that Gloria song. I mean,
Oh,
All right, we're all sick of it, Georgie. We're all sick of it.
although there's a chance you might hear it though. I'm not gonna lie.
People make me fucking sing that song in karaoke. I don't even know the lyrics still. It's pathetic. Georgie, you're the man,
awesome.
dude. Thank you for coming on. Give us your time, dude. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch base with you. I got your number. Well, I'm gonna be calling you, man. We're gonna set some things
anytime,
up
brother.
here. You're the man,
Anytime.
big
Thanks
boy.
a lot.
You know,
Appreciate it,
you
man.
know, Cam, fighting is a fraternity in the NHL. Anytime you need me, you did the toughest job in the league, in the world of professional sport. I'm always there for you.
Right on, big boy.
Love
Love
it.
you, buddy. Appreciate it, dude. We'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.
All right, that was Georges Laruque, brought to you by GadgetBuyback.com. That's Gadget Lab. Again, check them out if you're in St. Louis, right there in Oakville, 5541 Telegraph Road. CarShield.com. Get your coverage today. And, of course, Bellman.com. Get yourself a new ride. And Cope24.com.
Oh,
Changing
girl,
our
what's up?
parenting experience. Talked to her the other day. They're still going to have the big event
Oh, we're gonna host
coming
that
up,
bad
and
boy.
we'll be hosting that. It may be virtual. Who knows?
Yeah, I tell you what, you're the first sponsor on our podcast. We're
Yes,
taking care of
we'll
you.
take care of
we
you
take
forever.
care of you.
We love you, Renee.
Yeah.
Love all our sponsors. Thank you for all the support. All right, Georges Laruque, man.
God, was he good.
I knew he'd be good. I didn't know he'd be that good.
God, he pumped my tires up too.
He did. There is a fraternity
I know there
with
is.
the fighters. I mean, in terms of the respect you guys have for one another. But I want to talk about this, the world inside the life of fighting. I mean, I thought it was fascinating for him to talk about when he was a rookie, how Tony Twist gave him an opportunity to prove himself.
Yep.
And then to establish himself and have a career and be able to make a living and play in the National Hockey League, and how he felt like he owed it to younger players. And he said he never turned down a fight, and he would always say good luck before a fight.
I definitely
that
wouldn't
was
do that.
unbelievable.
He did do that, and it was recorded against Radius Savanis, big Russian boy. But yeah, he didn't want to fight, man, and that's why he kept pumping my tires up, because he knows I'm a psychopath, and he's like, I don't know how you did that. But he's like the most respectful dude in the world, except for whenever I tried to hit him and he fucking bulldozed me and told me.
Did you learn?
Did you learn? Did you? No, I didn't fucking learn. Or maybe I fucking did. I'm not hitting you again.
He grew up with a lot of shit, though.
Yeah, he
you
got
know?
called. Like, we're
terrible.
talking, like, can you imagine, like, him, and he was so good. Oh, I shouldn't say. I had to chirp him a little bit. His style in juniors was so god-awful. He had that big bubble, and he's such a big guy.
Neck guard.
And he had his black toques with the tacks, and then he had his black neck guard all the way up, and all of a sudden he'd take his neck guard off, and he'd piss pump you to death. And you're like, oh, okay. He just had to go. People chirped him. I don't think it was his teammates, because we asked him about that. It was more like the fans, or someone inbounds on him. Like, it's like, good God
terrible, man.
almighty. Like, I don't know how you dealt with it, but he did. But God,
But
this guy
he-
does more to
He really breaks it down, though.
He does break
in
it down.
terms of, athletes getting to the inner city, specifically hockey players,
Yeah,
the
man.
impact they can truly have. And that's where, and I didn't really bring this up to him. I mean, my focus for NHL players to have an impact in urban areas in the country and in the inner city, to me, the purpose isn't to have the guys go out and play hockey. I mean, they may or may not. If you get some guys that want to, put the skates on and all of a sudden become hockey players, I think it's great.
Good.
but just to help them learn the game and maybe flip it on TV and know who guys are and what's going on in the game.
Or
Like
just kind of see how the
what the
structure
rules
works
are.
and like
Exactly.
the team camaraderie. Like,
so
like how do you
introduce the sport?
Yeah.
It's not about whether or not you're going to get guys to sign up and go play. It's the introduction to the game. That's my opinion.
I agree. And so a lot of those guys, man, they start playing hockey, man, they're going to dominate. They're all athletes, man. They
The
just
Sean
will
Avery
figure it
stuff
out.
was interesting. I will throw this
I
out there.
know.
You know, Avery has denied that several times. I haven't asked him, but I've seen him deny it. This is several years ago, so he probably won't love the fact that that's popping back up.
I know.
But have you ever heard about a player having a hidden mic?
Dude, that's fucked
What is
up.
that all about?
Fuck, I don't know, man. And they tried to get him, and Avery must have had to step on it. And
Well, that's what he said. He must have known because when he played against him after that, whenever he had the hidden mic,
he didn't even chirp him.
Avery wouldn't even say a word.
Yeah, and that's unlike
So-
him. I don't want to put
No,
that's on those two. I
And
don't
we
know.
love Sean Avery. He's a friend of the podcast.
I know, man.
and
He
he's
came
been
in
on
school.
our podcast, man.
I know he's fucked up, and
And
we
again,
all
he's
are.
denied it.
He's denied it.
And there's
so
been no one who's been able to confirm it. Not to say that we don't believe George, but we
I'm gonna
weren't
tell him
there,
you don't
so
believe him.
We're not. Don't do that.
No, I'm not going to.
Although he is vegan, and I find it very interesting.
He'll eat your fucking ass. I'll tell you that.
You know, in Montreal, when he played in Montreal, apparently they would have like for the players spread when he got there.
And his own
Oh,
spread.
they had.
Oh, fuck.
And he got like half the team
He's a
turned
big
vegan.
dog. He's a big dog.
Half
He
the
can
team
do that.
apparently
When
turned
you're that
vegan,
big, as far as a heavyweight,
Yeah.
like that shit happens.
And you never fought him, huh? Like for you,
don't
as a,
fucking tell Reed Lowe this. God damn it! Now he's gonna beak me like no.
I don't think he
Lowe's
will.
got
Have you
fucking
seen the
piss pump
videos?
from.
Have
Oh
you seen
my
the
god,
video?
we're
There's
gonna
two
put
of
one
them.
out tomorrow.
There's two of them.
We're gonna put one out.
But at
Lowe's
least-
got fucking piss pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that.
At least he fought him.
That's
At least he fought him. But you know what? As a guy who did what you did, was that like a goal of yours? Like, did you want to make sure you fought all the baddest dudes in the league?
Whoever's ready, let's go. I mean, no one turned me down. Well, maybe a couple guys.
Would you have ran Carey Price if you knew Georges Laruque was in the lineup?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Because that's a spur of the moment
Absolutely.
situation.
Yeah, I didn't. Dude, fuck yeah. I wouldn't even think about it.
Deer in the headlights.
Wouldn't even think about it. And then I have to deal with him, and he'd kick the fuck out of me. But I wouldn't even think about it.
What would be your approach against him? Like who?
I'll tell you
did
right
you fight
now.
for sheer?
I'll tie his left up right away. Tie his left up, grab his left, and make. You want to throw your right against my left? I could do that.
Did you fight for sheer?
No. They had Vandermeer, they had Fedoruk, and all that. And
I'm trying to think of who would be of similar weight
a big
class.
lefty. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I went against big righties.
Don't tell George this. The one thing I will say, we have a video because he said he never hit a guy when he was down. He did hit.
Oh, you know.
He did hit down for sheer when he was down. So maybe that one time. You forgot about that one fight.
Georgie does more good for society than I think
Oh
anybody
my
else.
God.
Like fucking.
He's been a politician,
dude. He just whatever he wants to do. If people are like fucking.
He
right.
wouldn't even step on a bug nowadays. This guy's maybe the nicest guy,
Telling
nicest
you, man.
former player.
That's a
of
good
the
thing to
history
see, though. Like no one
of the
treats him
NHL.
like shit now.
No.
Funny how that works, eh?
They should.
Now he wants to
They
be
should.
a politician
Yeah.
as a black man.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
He's the
Anything
man.
he wants.
He's a man. I'm glad we had him on.
I know.
I mean,
Love
it was,
it. I love
it was it was a really good conversation. I think educational for a lot of
I
people
know.
too.
I learned a lot
He's
from
a
him.
smart guy, and believe me, we say this, and sometimes we don't mean it. We will have him on again.
Oh, dude, he might be part of this damn thing.
It could be. You know,
He might take my fucking spot. God damn.
but those are the people that I think the NHL should get involved, man.
I can't believe that.
They got to get those type of people involved to help bring.
I agree.
And help change the culture. If the NHL truly needs a culture change, which I'm not so sure they need it as much now as maybe they did several years ago, although you probably still need it now. There's
I
no
think
doubt.
they do now more than anything
Well,
with all this shit going on.
I'm just
right?
saying. I just think the old school mentality, a lot of that has
The
been
NHL's
trickled.
doing okay.
A lot of that has been trickled out of the league, and I think younger kids growing up
I think
today,
they get it. I think they're starting
they
to
get it.
There's
I think they're
jokey
exposed
shit.
to different things, and I think they're educated on it way more at a younger age than they were in the prior generations.
I think, Andy, honestly, that these kids now say, like, if I act like a jackass in the locker room with
they're gonna
that,
kill me,
they're going to fucking kill me.
yeah.
And they should.
Yes,
And that's it.
absolutely. You ever get a fight with a teammate
Fuck yeah.
and like off the ice?
Oh, my God, yes.
Like who?
Me and Josh Gratton fought right in front of my Billets front yard before
What
my
happened?
Billets.
What happened?
He spit on my brand new fucking Yukon XL I bought because I just signed and he didn't sign yet. And I was gonna. He spit on it, and then he kicked it, and I go, "What the?" And then
my
I
God.
fought him in my
Like a real fight.
real fight, and the cops come. Oh yeah, he'll tell you this. Cops come, and then
Why'd the cops come? Who called the cops?
oh fucking neighbors! It was chaos. And then we all jump into two different vans. My billets drive us back down to go party all night downtown Windsor. And I talked to the cops. We're all good. I had a black eye, and I cut him, which was very hard to cut. He's got that thick ass skin. I cut him, and we both went to the bar, and I think we wheeled a couple different girls that night.
Okay, so another one in the NHL.
Yeah.
No fights.
Oh God, yeah.
With a teammate.
Off the ice. Arya Honan one time in my this fucking Finnish piece of shit goalie. No, I shouldn't say piece of shit. Well, he's a kind of a piece of shit for fucking doing this to me. So we're at this rookie party in this middle of a fucking convention center. Give a fuck. And we're all wasted. And Ikla Pikarani, another Finnish fuck, fucking with me. And I'm a rookie. And I'm like, okay, I'll wrestle you. And I fucking pin him. And then Arya Honan, who's a first round bust. They signed him for $1 million. He didn't do shit. You're a fucking bust. Although you're a decent guy. But I didn't like you for this bullshit. So he pins me down. And he bites me in my fucking forehead.
Oh my God.
I have a fucking bite mark on my fucking forehead for 3.5 fucking weeks. Explain that to people.
Okay.
Fuck you, Arya Honan. You fucking bust.
Jesus. All right, we'll end on that.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, welcome into the team. Gadget Lab. Great to have you with us. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com. Sell those old phones. Upgrade your phone. You have a nice phone?
I got a nice phone, dude. Jesus Christ. You're the one that fucking opts out every goddamn time we have a fucking conference call.
Carshield.com. Get your coverage. Make sure you're protected in case something goes out.
Damn right.
You don't want to pay for a new engine, new computer.
Anything.
You don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
Make sure your coverage is there.
And buy a
Bellman.com.
car. Yeah.
Yes.
Buy
Get
it
a new
from
car from Bellman. BehlMann.com. And, of course, as always, Cope24.com. All right. For Cam Jansen, I'm Andy Strickland. We hope everyone out there stays safe.
Yeah, baby. We love you all.
And be nice to each other.
And sorry about my language, of course, if you're running
yes,
kids.
yes,
My
yes,
bad.
yes.
I threw a couple F-bombs. I was a little emotional.
You've been much better.
I've been a little better.
Yes.
So pardon my language. I love you guys all.
Yes.
And keep listening with your children because I'm a great influence to children.
See ya.